Man, when I was growing up, there was this dude on TV. Actually, there's a couple black dudes on TV that was they was sharp, they was debonair, they was smooth. One of them dudes and well informed. One of them dudes was his name was Tavis Smiley. Anyway, we ain't gonna get off into that part of the game. But I catch him on Vlad TV, and he said something like, "Man, I thought he was talking directly to me. I want you to check it out. Let's hear what Uncle Tavis got to say."
How'd you come to know Jim Brown? Let me say right now, I promise I'll do this very quickly. To those persons who are watching, as you said a moment ago, who are going through something in their own life, who made mistakes and are trying to move beyond that, I like to say very quickly, quoting my friend Brian Stevenson, that none of us are our worst deeds. None of us are our worst acts. Don't you let people define you by your worst deed, by your worst act. You are not your worst deed. You are not your worst act. That's my friend Brian Stevenson. I put it this way, that some of us, you heard my friend Brother Sean say a moment ago, and use the word some, S-U-M. Here's how I put it. Some of us is not the sum of us. The S-O-M-E of you is not the S-U-M of you. Some of us is not the sum of us. So don't let anybody define you by the S-O-M-E. Make them define you by the S-U-M of you. The sum total of all that you've done in your life, that's how people ought to judge you and see you, not by the S-O-M-E, some of the mistakes you might have made along the way. I just want to put a final point on that.
Yo, now when I heard that shit, my whole world stopped, because I have allowed people to define me by a few things I may have did that they don't like, totally forgetting everything I did that they needed, that they loved, that they didn't expect, that was a surprise, that helped them, forgetting all that. And I've been accepting and internalizing that. Now the problem with that is that has limited my output, because then I'm just trying to do better than what they said, when really I can go further and beyond than what they said I'm doing wrong. And me accepting that view of myself from people, that's a self-abuse. I had a person whose car just got fixed tell me how I cheated them. Now I'm gonna give you some specifics of the situation. Car was in an accident, insurance company cut them a check. Whatever happened, they dig into the check. Brand new 2020, gonna cost bands to get fixed. Now, based on my relationships, that they hate me for, that this same person has an issue with me having, they was able to get $5,200 of work did for $1,100. Now, I didn't physically spend money out my pocket in that instance to make that happen, but that relationship cost me years and a shitload of money to cultivate to even be able to get that. And you able to use my card, but you don't see that convenience. All you see is what you don't like. And this is just one situation, but I've allowed many. And they brought me down as an individual. And quite frankly, I had to check myself about my own self-value. My stepfather died on the floor in his mama's basement of a house he paid for 3 times over, with less than $60,000 in his 401k, because he done borrowed against that bitch paying for everybody. No checkings, no savings, no real insurance. But spent his life taking care of people for them to talk shit about him and fight his kids over the little bit of shit he had left. Do I want to die like that? Nah. And a lot of us men is staying in situations where we being treated like that, like thinking we doing our kids a favor. You not. You can't raise your son with him watching you be less of a man. Period. I don't give a fuck what a woman say. And that's what that is. I say that to say this, man. No longer will I let people judge me by some of what I did. They gonna have to judge me by the sum of my whole story, baby. or shut up. I suggest you take that same principle. We out this bitch. Oh, thanks, Uncle Tavis. I needed that game, baby. I'm telling you. Now that was $1 million worth of game. Word.